Go on. Hello, everyone.
January beats the drum. What is past and what's to come? January rings a bell. Hear the future times we tell. January blows a pipe, holding resolutions till they're ripe. January's in clear, open the gateway to a bright new year.
Hey, what up, boys? Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Good to see you all. We've got a bit more room now in the new place. As you can see, people always had a shock when they came to visit me that when they actually got there, they would see that I was sitting in it was basically a cupboard. That's why I could always just turn around and grab a book or something. And everyone's run off now. That's good, isn't it? They are not basking in the glory. They've all disappeared. Our producer, Leon, right, so you're going to turn that round the other way. We're going to do this, aren't we? Oh, no, can't hold that. Hang on.
I don't know how to do it then. I think I figured it out.
Oh, you figured it out? Oh, good. All right, well, you can show me that later. We need to get started now. Right, hello, everybody. Great to see so many people online. I think it's a record. Happy New Year. Hope you had a good Christmas. Right, who is Sherry? Sherry Ives, first on. Woot woot. Well done, Sherry. You're first on this week. First on my screen, Andrew Taylor. He's always up early. Sorry, I do beg your pardon, Andrew. Andrew Whelan. And hello, everybody. Sukama YouTube. I'm so excited. We got so much tonight. I'm just never going to squeeze it all in. I'm going to try and do it today. Best part of the show is a young man playing musical instruments for our listening pleasure. Yes, thank you. Yes. You got to put up a little bit more with me, and then we'll have some more music, okay? All right. Glad to know it's not just me. Yeah, thanks, Gary. And I was very good. I kept quiet this time, okay? I won't join in the next one, though. Right, same here. Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Suzanne Price. Time travelling again. No, sorry, me a few minutes late. I do apologise. Right, hello, Amelia. Right, brilliant. Loads of people online. Fantastic. Wow. What else comments you got here? I love a good conspiracy theory myself. But this has battered me. I spent 25 years in Southeast Asia. Right, okay, let's stay off controversial issues. We have enough. As I always say, let's do a Happy New Year from Scarab City. Scarab City, please send me an email. I can't find your email address. This happened before. You offered to help me. I've been scrolling through looking for Scarab City on my emails. And I know you emailed me. And I do apologise. This happened twice. It was just so embarrassing. I don't know what to say. And a special, just please email me, okay, about the videos and all that kind of stuff. You know what we were talking about. So it's good to see your name on here. And hello to Graham, special hello. Another Graham. We got Graham King. There's another Graham I bumped into today in Lidl in the supermarket, and it was so funny. So I was queued up with the boys. We're getting a few things, and it's Sunday earliest. How's Alec Wilson? Really loud in a Cardiff accent. Ugh! And he recognised me off here, and he's got some good stuff, all right? So that'd be brilliant. He's got some stuff to show me, so we'll be hopefully having a full chat with Graham in the near future. So happy now. I just saw a comment. Hello, Kay. Good to see you, Kay. And now the chat shows below the presentation several long slides. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Next stop, full-blown senility. Right, okay, right, thanks everybody. As I'm about to start tonight, there's been so much going on. It's so exciting. I'll give a little idea of the rundown. I've got a new project, a new channel. The next, because Ross was not singing. Thanks, Jada, that's okay, that's more like it. Yes, Blue Within, Rihanna and Fernando. Rihanna, isn't it? There we are, hello, good. Right, got a ton of stuff to get through. I think where to start. Yeah, I hope you've... Right, let's just dive in, I think. Let's just dive in. Okay, right, this is right to do things right now. Because I've been a little bit underprepared this week. You know, it's been like we moved, things have been going on, and then we had this thing called Christmas came along. And you know what children are like, it's all me, like, you know, it's Christmas Day, Daddy, can we do something other than history, you know? All that kind of stuff. So it's been full on. We got 2 books on the go, well 3 really, you could argue 4, and videos. Anyway, I'm going to bring an update now. We're going to do a New Year update. I'll have some new songs and stuff as well. Oop. If you can turn out a bit, Leon, so I can see the comments. The camera's a little bit too far to the side really, but there we are. I was thinking we can what's that angle like? We've got our high-tech hanging it off the windowsill. Yep, most good. I think that will be fine. Yeah, and you see the bric-a-brac is starting to fill up, a bit like the old one. I've got the new calendar from Calendar. I've got Dixie's slate up there. I've got Darren's wood carvings and the Heather from Richard Evans. Hello, Richard. I haven't seen you for a while. Supposed to have a chat. Right, okay. Yes, first up on my list. Congratulations to Patreon Russell Thomas and his wife on their birthday, new baby boy. It's actually a few months ago, but I only just found out, so congratulations. That's what we need. More babies in the world, more children. Fantastic. Hope your blessings and it's bring as much joy and pleasure as mine do. Most of the time, isn't it? Concentrating. We got Leon in the chair tonight. Arnie's off. A little change round. Right, and this is long overdue. I'm really poor at thanking people, and it's been great. Because without the Patreons, well, we'd still do it. It's not about this. This isn't like a business that makes money or anything like that. But it really helps to have people putting some money in every month just to pay for like the kit and getting some new things and making the programs better and driving around, with petrol and time. And this is full time. I'm not looking to get a salary out of this, so don't worry. But contributions towards paying the costs are very much appreciated. Okay. So a big thank you. If you go to the Patreon, you can just put in from £3 a month upwards. It really helps. Ashley's been an absolute legend all the way through, so thank you again for that. And Adrian Marati, Kay Bewley, Eugene Boyle, Gary Taylor, Marshall Abrahams, a lot of these names you'll know. Michael Finch, Michael Tombolin, Nigel Griffiths, Tyrion, William Jubinville. They're wonderful, loyal supporters. And we've got more Patreons then. Adam, Benjamin, Charlie, Holly, John, Jonathan, Justin, Catherine, Paul, Peter, Richard, Russell and Stephen. So brilliant, thank you very much. Because there is a point where we can't do this because you need some help with the bills and stuff. So thank you very much indeed. It's absolutely brilliant. And as I always say, the whole point of this is a group thing. We're going to get more books out so that we're going to get the pre-ordering for the new books as we up, show you how that's going to work. Got a few ideas, a few new projects. And we have to do these things, keep this going. As I always say, what we want is lots and lots of people doing a little rather than just a few doing a lot. And it's the same with paying the bills. Everyone chipping in a few pound a month, we can do a lot better. And this is YouTube. You can join YouTube. Now you'll see a join. There's a members button you can join. And you get a little badge by your name and stuff like that in priority. So thank you very much again to those people there. That's just started. I just wanted to show a few people have asked me, said, how do the memberships go? Well, there you go. You got this rather funky thing on YouTube whereby you can do a year's, well, it's like 2 years. You can see this. So this all started 29. You didn't really get going, until about here. That's where we started doing the weekly ones. Oh, I didn't say the thing at the beginning. It's episode number 85. I forgot to do that bit. So if you look at it, that's one a week. There was 1 week missing only when I went to Newcastle. And I didn't have internet up there, so I think we're looking at 86 weeks, so 52 in a year. So yeah, so about here it really got started. And I think at that point we were on about 200-300. And then by September 2020, about there, got to 1,000. And then 2, then a big jump. Martin Leaker, thank you very much. And those people who've given it a go from Martin's channel, very, very welcome. I got a few more things of interest to you as well, I think. And also I'm trying to get Martin on for an interview so he can tell us everything what his channel's about. Because it is different to this. It is a very different look at the history. But it's very clever and it's very good. And I enjoy watching it. So give it a try, okay? And a big thank you to Martin. A big shout out. And a big flat thumbs as he does. Okay. Right. Now, something I mentioned last week. And thank you. I've had quite a few emails of people commenting and suggesting things. I've got an extra nomination. These are more like, I think what I'd like to do is maybe start for next year and have people contributing, making a particular contribution that year. And, I just thought I need to put Llewellyn Bren on this. Llewellyn, but Jules, sorry, you should be on this list. But I think you're probably better on next list because this is people who've done a lot over the sort of last 30 years, really, since this has really been cracking on. So Jim Michael, unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But if you don't know Jim Michael, look for some of the videos, like on the channel. You see the Maddock video where he talks about that. Absolutely wonderful gentleman, gentleman. Very polished, great presenter, very sincere. And if you read the book... Oh, can you grab King Arthur Conspiracy? No, hang on, I got everything ready. Oh, man, trying to look so professional every week. I had it here. What happened to it? King Arthur Conspiracy book. What have you done with it? Are you cleared the desk? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, oh yeah, I don't know. We had a board there, so I could see it. But we didn't have the room for the board and the notebook. We haven't got as much room now. This desk is not as big. If you read in here, a lot of this was inspired, and Jim did a great job because he was the one who really kept feeding information about the Maddox migrations to America, because he was over in Kentucky, okay? And he was, if you haven't seen this book, this is a book will be out much sooner than I thought. So watch out for news on that. And thank you to everyone. I'm going to come on to that in a minute. Is that he was very, very interested in the Welsh migrations. He had lots of evidence, and he kept sending information to Wilson and Blackett and saying, look, there's these things in the caves. Can you read this? You think we got some cold brun? Can you read this? And they, yeah, we can read this. We can read this. And it was not an area that Wilson and Blackett wanted to get into. By the time they looked into the Maddox stuff, they were already doing all that cool stuff about the ancients, going back to ancient Egypt, going into languages, how you can read hieroglyphs, all these great things, the Trojan War, the migrations. That's where they were at. And I have to say, that's an area, we're going to do more of that next week, right? Be neglecting it a bit. And this week, I'm going to try and get some videos out about the Gwynedd Zodiac, the first Zodiac that Hugh Evans wrote his book about. So try and get that out, start getting those videos out. We sort of lost a chunk of time because the printers messed up with the book, and I lost the momentum, and the videos, everything slipped. So we're going to have a restart, all right? Sorry. Oh, remove my comment. Oh, sorry, apologies for that, Marshall. Anyway, sorry, I can't see the comments right now, because unfortunately it's behind me, so I'll do a catch-up, all right? Anyway, so Jim Michael kept sending this stuff, and Wilson and Black were like, why does he keep going on this Maddox thing? I think it's just, it's not a real thing. Because when everyone thinks of the migrations, they think about the 13th century Maddox, who is referenced by Queen Elizabeth I in their claims for New England and for North America. It's pretty well shown to be a bit of a hoax, really, to try and get a claim on the land. But the trouble is, people throw the baby out with the bathwater, because there is the original story, which is the 6th century Maddox, which is the second half of this book. So the first half is what I call the longest introduction. I think it's 290 pages before we get to Maddox. So what I'm doing is actually cutting this book in half. There's a few other reasons as well, because the first half is all about British history, really. A little bit of tweaking needed, but very little. It divides very well. Anyway, Jim Michael kept pushing this, sending stuff to Alan, and finally something clicked. Hang on a second. I think Alan Wilson worked out we're dealing with the 6th century Maddox. And then everything starts to make sense. You can translate the name Maddox, suddenly all the ancient documents turn up, all the evidence makes sense, and you get this brilliant narrative. And he drove that. And you can see him in the Prince Maddox fact or fiction video, well worth watching. And he just really got the ancient Kentucky society going, along with Lee Pennington, who's still going strong. And Lee's just been off to Tahiti on this amazing trip, amazing pictures. And I'm also hoping to do another interview with Lee soon. We had a couple of interviews with Lee on the channel. I think you've seen them. How can I know what you've seen them? A lot of people have seen them. And that's very much talking about pre-Columbian history. And he's been a real stalwart with Wilson and Blackett. He came over to Wales a couple of times, I think. I'll have to check with Lee. But one famous journey where he made that really good film, which is now up. Which one is that? Hang on. Is it the one available on the CD, DVD, or on the channel? Either way, I'll put a link up so you can see it. And it's fantastic. I think that's the one you have to get the DVD. Yes, that's right. Yes, because it's part of J-Lo Productions. What's wrong?
Don't worry, I'll handle it.
Oh, someone causing trouble, is it?
My account, yeah. No, you need to go on my account. No,
we got. Someone being a bit rude on the channel. All right, well, don't do this. It's a family channel, okay? We got boys doing everything. We don't get into trouble, and no current affairs and stuff like that. And Arnie'd be on the case now, and he's pretty ruthless. So you've been warned. You won't be able to watch the channel ever again. Right, okay, so, all right, so brilliant work there from Lee. And he's still going strong, and he's made the films. He's kept promoting it, and he's tirelessly tried to get someone to take the film on. What's happened, boys?
No, this is all fine.
Oh, there's a bit of a row going on there. Please, there's no need for that, okay? We don't have any rude stuff on here. No aggression. Nice, gentle Sunday evening. All right, relax. We can have different opinions. It's okay. And Pete, I want to see again soon. He's in Cardiff. He was there at the first digs. He was at the dig with St. Peter's Church. He's in Cardiff. Right from the beginning, he's been with Wilson and Blackett. I'll see if he knows this Graham I met today, because Graham was there in Cardiff. I don't want to give too much away. But anyway, he was... Alan will know him from the time of the dig. Let's just put it that way, okay? All right. Oh, I see. Yeah, no current affairs, please. Right. And then we got Alan Hassel. And I would say Alan literally gave his life for the Britain's Hidden History project. Well, he wouldn't have called it that. I mean, he's got his own amazing database of videos he put together. There's no voice anything on them. It's all just text. And he's put together stacks and stacks and stacks of information. Which another person, who I think will be on the list for next year, because this is like a looking back kind of list at the moment, is Peter Smith, who's done a brilliant job. And if you haven't gone on to the Brit Hidden History forum yet, you really should. He's done an enormous job moving across all these research, loads of excerpts from Wilson and Blackett books. And when I say literally gave his life, Alan Hassel was the guy who was the expert in ground penetrating radar, is that the right word? Sort of X-ray machines, like very advanced metal detectors in a way. He's developed underwater metal detecting, absolute genius. And it's never been medically diagnosed as far as I'm aware, but and he was a very heavy smoker. But if you watch the videos of him back in the day, he had this sort of frame around him, which used to walk around, and that used to do the deep ground penetrating detection. And I can't help but wonder if that's an enormous amount of radiation. It's very powerful. And he's walking around hours and hours and hours, plotting everything. And horrible feeling that might have had an effect, because he passed away quite young. So it's quite tragic there. And then Monica. Well done, Monica. Still here. I know Monica's online tonight. I saw Lego's name appear up. Yeah, don't worry about the moderator, it'll be okay. There's Monica, who I have to say, when I really got involved in this a few years ago, it was Monica's Facebook group, seemed to be the only place where people were discussing Wilson and Blackett's work. It's still going. I think it's called King Arthur 1 and 2, the original. You'll find that, and there's an open page that Monica does with Wilson and Blackett stuff. And she's been producing a book, translating into German. Done some great gifts over the years, the birthday thing, quite a lot of people here signed. Made a real contribution and kept this going, and we really got to keep it going, okay? It's like the history project I'm going to tell you about in a minute. We're looking at. And then the nomination sent through, I'm sorry I forgot who sent me the nomination. Somebody emails you, Richard D. Hall. I was like, yes, quite right. How many people on here first came across Wilson and Blackett through Rich Planet? I know I did. I was looking at some completely unconnected event, some other history thing, and I suddenly saw a little thing in the corner. It said forensic historians, the Welsh forensic historians, I think it said. I thought, what's that about? And at the time, I had a great job because I was doing art from home. I was painting little figures and doing artwork and things like that. A bit different. I'd been ill, and it was quite a relaxing job. And one of the great things about it was that while you're painting these stuff and commission pieces I was doing, I could just put some YouTube stuff on. It was great. As long as I didn't have to look at it, because you're looking, but if I could listen to things, it was brilliant. So it's amazing what you can find. I listened to university lectures. I went to the Harvard University, what was the name? Professor Bullet or Bullet. He was brilliant. And all his lectures about world history, and it was just fantastic. It was great. And I did that for 6 or 7 years. So I built up a lot of information. And one of the things I discovered was Richard D. Hall and Rich Planet, which I'm sure everyone here has watched the videos. They're great. And hopefully we'll have something coming up where I'll be chatting to Richard about some stuff in the near future. We've got some ideas. So we are in contact with each other. And I'm pleased to say he is selling the Wilson and Blackett books again. You can buy them through his website. So it's all looking good on that front. So Richard definitely deserves a mention there, okay? So let's have a quick look there. What, are we okay?
Yes.
Remember, I want to get your... Alright. Let's none of that chat here, right? Let's leave out the current affairs, okay? This is a nice break from all that. Right, okay, now I just want to show something here. It's been a little bit Welshy lately. Although last week's Sunday show was about Scotland, wasn't it? It was a bit of a Scottish special. There's some English stuff. Now, I've got so much on tonight, there's no way I'm going to be able to get through this. So I'm just going to mention it, and I'll do a separate video during the week. This is the idea, really. Oh, no, I suddenly feel a bit sneezy, itchy nose. That means someone's thinking about me. Or I'm going to come into money, I can never remember. Is it a good thing? I'm not going to sneeze, So, the point of this one again is in Shropshire. This gets very close to Wroxeter and the original British capital. The pre-Roman British capital is in this Shropshire area. It's really, really important. And you can look there. Wilson and Blackett have gone on for years explaining the Roman roads running through it, like Watling Street and all these other ones. Their names are even pre-Roman, and you can translate them using Welsh and the old Brythonic languages. They're nonsense words without them. You can read them. All the place names around there and everything, and it's a fascinating bit of history. So what I'm going to do is keep going with this idea of doing short videos during the week about history. Try and keep them below 10 minutes, about 7 minutes. There's one run over a little bit this week, but I'll try, okay? Because then we got more time on this Sunday evening show to have a chat about some new ideas and new things and what's going on and all that. So we'll come back to it, but you can see the link there, because the key about this was, you can see there's an older British road, and you can go through, this is, go to the Wayback Machine here, go back in time. So I want to do this properly, put the credits of who sent the information and because I found some of this as well and how it all worked. And you can see where the A5 is, the classic main roads and the main arteries of Britain. And it's frustrating, they still get called Roman. As I did last week with the rule, if you think of it, if the road's been around this long, built by the Britons, used by Britons for all this period, and there's this little slot, and the Romans use the road, why call it Roman? So we'll come on to that again, okay? Because I want to do more ancient stuff and star stuff next week as well. Right, this is going back a little bit. I do my general policy is to try and avoid talking too much about some of the rough stuff that happens.
Eddie?
Yes.
Ross, we've got a question.
Oh, Rich Plan is excellent. Yes, Ross, could you put links to their websites of channels so we can find their work if we don't know? Yeah. Sorry, I normally try and get all the links into the description. You're quite right. I'll put them all up. Rich Planet and that, I think you find these, but I will put the links up. I usually do. I think I did last week. I'm a bit slack sometimes. It's been hectically busy. And only just running around all day. But thank you for the suggestion. Thank you for the reminder. Right, now this is the... it's not such a pretty side of it, but I thought we'd just get out the way, because it does come up now and again. And this is going back to the sort of problems that Wilson and Blackett were having back in the day, back in the 80s and 90s. So if you look there... King Arthur fought for peace. Who writes these things? King Arthur fought for truth and justice, but it's unlikely he would have called in his knights of the Round Table to settle a row over his final resting place. I mean, it's this kind of patronising tone you always take with British history, isn't it? Welsh history. And this is the Welsh National Newspaper, by the way. This is the Western Mail. So the Camelot legend has taken a new twist after a bust-up between a farmer and the owner of one of Britain's oldest churches, said to contain the King's grave. By the way, thank you, Mandy, for doing the research. There's a particular front page we are looking for, and we can't find it. It's 1994, when there's a big thing about Wilson and Blackett, saying how the good work they're doing and the progress, before everything got sort of censored. Well, that's what it feels like. I shouldn't say that, I don't know, but there's no more coverage after that story anyway. So police are investigating a complaint from historian Alan Wilson. See, Alan Wilson's making the complaint. I just want to point this out. There's a lot of people talk about the things he was accused of. They got no convictions, never been convicted, never actually gone to proper prosecution. It's just people have tried to attack him over the years. And they're even accused of devil worshipping and all sorts, and taking away a casket of human bones. The most ridiculous stories. And they always get thrown out, but of course, you throw enough mud, you hope some of it sticks. And it's all part of the besmirching of their reputation. So we are. Mr. Wilson was 69 in those days. We had to go to Bristol County Court. And he believed widespread rumours and stories circulating in newspapers about the ruins of St. Peter's near Pencoed, which me and Mr. Terry owned, had influenced the police to raid their home. Mr. Terry is Baron's name, so he added that he had to change his name, not for any criminal or defrauding or anything like that, to get away from all the stick they were getting in South Wales. So that's why he goes as Baron Blackett. It's like a pen name, okay? So Mr. Wilson told the court they had been ridiculed across South Wales as it placed out on previous historical accounts. Our name was mud, said Mr. Wilson. We're unpopular local authorities in South Wales, University of Wales, blah, blah, blah. All these Welsh Arts Council, Glamorgan Gwent Archaeological Trust, Wales Tourist Board. It's a first century church, very important, but no one to know. So in the end, of course, they had to proceeding. So they had to try and defend themselves. They've been accused of stealing stuff from their own church and police harassment. And they did get letters in the end. And one of the things which, thank you very much, Dave Hooper sent this, and this is an amazing example of what we're up against. Okay? You can pause the video later and read it all. All he's basically doing is saying, hey, we've got this amazing story, got this amazing history. We spoke to Lord Jack Brooks of Tremorva back in 1982. So what's that? That's 40 years ago this year, isn't it? 40th anniversary of the guy from the House of Lords saying, and I've got a blown up version here. I just wanted you to see the lovely paper they used and everything. How nicely they did everything. They tried really hard, you know. With anyway, yeah, I can read that a bit easier now. Yeah, so in 1976 we set up a very modest idea to look for British history. Went through the whole thing, accurate, trustworthy, everything was great. And we're amazed how we've been, you know, censored and pushed down. So the records always turn out to be accurate. They've been using, they have been using, that's from Alan Hassel with his ground penetrating radar to look at stuff. They're using Google Earth. They're not asking for any money, we don't want anything, alright? We're giving you something. So they gave him a DVD showing stuff. And what's really interesting is where this letter was found. Okay? Where was the letter found? Well, this is curious because getting hold of this, there's a strange thing, getting hold of these books is very, very difficult. There's hardly any around. And they're always really expensive and hard to get. There seems to be very few. There's at least 3,000 printing. There's only 6 and a bit years ago. Where did they all go? It's weird. So, this is one example, because if you look, this letter was sent to the TUC with a free copy of the book. Say, please read this book. There's 20,000 jobs for South Wales here. There's so much of interest.
That's interesting. It's a bit backtracking.
Oh, but talking about the farmer getting involved. Yeah, how much discussion was it? All right, yeah. Well, the farmer was basically vandalising the church. That was the bottom line. Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, so and he's still there, taking the bricks away. But it's his son now, and he's a lot better. So let's not say too much because he won't be on good terms. So with this book there, now, if you bought one of these, you might have paid well over the odds for it. The tragic thing is they're really badly made, and there's almost 600 pages. And you daren't touch them, because as soon as you open the books anywhere, they just start falling apart, alright? The seams, it's won't be like this in the reprints we're doing, but they're just very poorly. I've got 2 copies of this now, and one is just in bits. And I was talking to Dave, he's the same, you have to wrap it together with elastic bands. I don't know, it just didn't work. Just a very poor job on it, which is a shame, because it's amazing content. You can hear that crackle, it's kind of very, very gentle and delicate with this book. Now, what was curious is the letter, talking about the free book and the DVD and all this kind of stuff, was he found it nestled in the back of the book. And the book was in perfect condition. So, it doesn't look as though someone spent too long studying it. So there we go, that's enough of the heavy stuff anyway. I try and avoid all this, just to show you they have been through these things, because people will bring them up, okay? The last line's quite funny. Unlike a factory, hang on, just put that back on quickly. Unlike a factory, history-based tourism cannot be closed down, it cannot be taken away. It is permanent. We also believe that all the tourist memorabilia should be made in Wales and not in Hong Kong or wherever. Brilliant. Which reminds me, Philip Brown also needs to go on this list for doing his long service. And I do apologise for that. Right, so here we go. This is exciting stuff now, okay? Because this book it's just brilliant. I mean, I've been doing video after video, just picking out. It's like you just random pick a page. What's this now? Any page. If I have my glasses on. It's just full of great stories and bits of interest. I'll keep doing videos about it to give you an idea. And that's why I give special thanks to these people. There's more people volunteering. I'm sending out chapters because the problem is we've got the print files, and this is a really weird shaped book. And what we got is the original print PDFs, which is not going to fit anything. We want all our books to be the same sort of format, and also we need to make some changes. It's typical Wilson and Blackett really. It's bits of typos and little bits of grammar. None of the content's coming out. It's just tidying up, all right? They never really had any publishing background or anything like that. Now this is a teamwork. So already we had these people all working on the books, getting the chapters done, going through, sorting it out, making it into Word documents that we can then, turn around, fit to any size, get them printed. It's going to be fantastic, okay? It'll be sooner than I thought. Because thank you very much to Peter Smith, who said, why are you doing all this? There's loads of people volunteered to help. And I was like, yeah, quite right. Yeah, because then I can do more videos and do more other things, and this will come out quicker. So please, best to drop me an email, ross@cameraglyphics.com, if you want to get involved in this, because we've got, like I keep mentioning it, I can't, this is what happens with New Year's, isn't it? You feel like this whole year has gone by, you suddenly realise all these books say were going to come out last year, didn't. So we're going to crack on. So it's all a lot more organised, a bit more professional now. So there's going to be the book on the pyramids coming out soon, a lot of stuff about ancient religions, stuff like that, all from Wilson and Blackett. So let's crank them out, okay? So thank you very much to those people. In the last week, I would say a quarter of the book's done. So with everyone working on it, another few weeks. So we'll start doing it. What I want to explain there, it's a different story, is what I'm going to do is let's look to the Kickstarter. The problem is they take loads of fees. It's quite complicated. It's designed, I think, for slow projects. Stuff's up there for 2 years, and there's targets. We don't really have a target. Let's just get as much as we can. Many pre-ordered books. People on the Facebook group have been great. They've been putting out for pre-orders, so I think we're fine to go. So what we're going to do, as we've done with previous books, the book will become available for sale maybe this week even, as pre-order. And if you pre-order, you get the £5 discount, and we try and put some goodies in and make it a good deal. And then, that's it really. There's other options. Oh yeah, almost forgot. The people who've helped with this will also get their names in the book as a thank you. There'll be like an acknowledgements, and there'll be a thank you in the front. So all those people get listed. There's also a chance to get your name in the book, and there's going to be a couple of, just 2 or 3 slots available, whereby you can be in the acknowledgements at the front. So the dedication of the book, if you like. So we're going to be selling those spots. And don't forget, all the money gets shared with Wilson and Blackett. Keep them going as well. All right? So you're doing a good thing. Keep us going. And keep the whole project going, because it's Britain's hidden history. It's Britain's, as I always say, it's not deleted history. It's not lost yet. Right. Yes, Patricia Gilchrist, been doing a great job. Very valuable. Oops, let's have a look what we got in there. It's so small, I can't see it hardly. Put my glasses on.
I'll make it a bit bigger.
Right, okay, what's the time doing? Oh my goodness, I've hardly get anywhere. Just wanted to... this goes like a really negative programme, and it's not meant to be. It's a cheerful one. Just wanted to say there's more people getting upset. You need to look into this. I will do a separate video. I don't want to spoil our New Year's celebrations. But this idea that the whole of Wales is going to be carpeted with either trees... And they're basically tree factories, right? Let's not kid ourselves. There's nothing ecological. They're not replanting woodlands, with beautiful British trees and oaks and beech and all that all mixed together. No. There's stuff that grows the fastest and the straightest. So in 10, 20 years, it can all be just chopped down and made into crap pulp wood furniture or burnt. Do you realise, for the quick quiz there, how many trees a year do you think are burnt in British power stations? It'll shock you. If you don't know, it'll absolutely shock you. So this idea this is done for a green initiative is absolute nonsense. I'll give you the answer. Anyway, it's 25 million to feed British power stations because we stopped using coal and we don't use our natural gas, and we import this wood from ancient forests in Estonia and wood pellets all the way from Canada. So yeah, so I'm trying to avoid politics, but this is just madness. So don't think this is an ecological thing. It's been used as a carbon offset. It's a tax dodge. So you got rich stockbrokers and pension funds and big companies just buying up acres and acres and acres and acres, planting them to get a tax break. They couldn't give a monkeys. And unfortunately, most of our history is on the hilltops, the very ones that they want to plant on or make their new wind factories, the power stations, which they call wind farms. All right, so look out for that. Go to the Wales Vision 2040. It's all in there. It's all government policy. It's not conspiracy theories or anything. These farmers are digging in and saying, this is our life. We're hill farmers. We're not here just to sell our land. That's not what it's a lifestyle. It's not about money. So good for them. There's 3 generations there, and I hope they stand firm. And our history is part of this, and I think it's exactly the same in England and Scotland. It's all coming along. Right, okay, here's a channel which a little bit different. God, we're jumping around today. Is the Marco guy. If you don't know Marco, go and have a look. As you can see, start the new channel. It's a couple of weeks ago. He's only getting a few views, and it's worth watching. I've known Marco now for a couple of years, and I've done interviews with Marco's and recordings with Marco. And I'm a little bit nervous because it's our main focus is Wilson and Blackett and getting the books out and Britain's recorded history, getting the books, the historical records, going through them, giving out the evidence, and making this into our thing. Because that's our history. It used to be taught in schools, used to be accepted. The migrations. Shakespeare wrote about Troy and things like this. This is part of our fabric, our culture. So, but Marco's a different thing. He has a download's the best way to put it. He's been connected to some sort of knowledge. He doesn't know how. He's not academically background, and it's quite remarkable. I say I've been following it for about 1.5 to 2 years now. It's remarkably consistent. It's full of revelations. It's very, very interesting, and I like to get Marco on the show one of these weeks, and I'm going to put up some of the interviews we did a while ago. And I'd like people to have a look, please. Have a look. See what you think. It's about, a lot of it's tied in with, well, I'll actually give a little bit of introduction. It's a bit unfair to send you somewhere, isn't it? A lot of it does. You can see on those, I'm pointing, you can't see what I'm pointing at. But you look at these boards here, you can see he's got various words written out. And it's the power of the words. And I want to say something about this. It's decoding a lot of these words, okay? Now, my first reaction when I saw Marco was, well, hang on a second. This is all in English. English is quite a modern language. How can the English language go all the way back to the Bible? So what it does, traces all biblical events and stories to Britain. Not just Wales, around Britain. You get the biblical stories. So back to our, the Great Deception, all this kind of thing. Comins, Beaumont, that the Bible took place in Britain, and the narrative was moved probably in the time of Constantine to Jerusalem, where it'd be nearer to his capital in Constantinople. But actually it was in Britain. Now what Marco's discovered is names all over Britain, and the centre of a lot of it is South Wales, where Caer went, near Caerleon. This whole area. When you first get it, it's a bit mind-blowing. It blew my mind. I didn't know what to think. As I always say, I was there, I went out to see him, and after about 10-15 minutes, I'm thinking, what on earth is all this about? What have I got myself into? And then 2 hours later, I'm thinking, wow, this is really remarkable. It is worth seeing. So the question is, though, to think about, how is it that the English language unlocks so many things? Because we're tracing the Welsh language back to the Bible and ancient Egypt, and that makes more sense. It's a very ancient language. English isn't an ancient language. English is a mishmash language of different things. And this fitted in with some other thoughts I was having on another piece of research. Is, how old is the English language? Do we really know? Do you think there's any chance, this is a weird one, that it was something I've been putting around in the Facebook group and that for a while now, is that the language was actually created quite recently, as recently as the 17th century. And it was created in many ways to do the sort of things that Marco's doing. You know, those people are really into numerology with the letters. This isn't something we concentrate on this channel, okay? So it's like diversion. It's New Year's Day, why not, eh? Or day after New Year's Day. Is that, so what you do is you have, if you looked at the number system, so A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. You get to 9, you go back to 1 again. So every letter's between 0 and 9. And it's interesting things like, oh God, I haven't done this for ages now. I can't remember what they were, but anyway, you get the very interesting things, like lots of words, like orange, for example. You know, you see all the prisoners in Guantanamo Bay, they're dressed in orange jumpsuits, and if you add up the numbers, the letters of orange, it comes out with 33, and you see lots of celebrities with orange and all this kind of stuff. People love this kind of thing. There's loads of channels out there. This channel is not going to become one of those channels spending too much time on it, but it is worth acknowledging. So as I always say, I might think it's nonsense, you might think it's nonsense, but there seems to be some very important people out there running the world who don't think it's nonsense. All right, that's all I'm going to say on it, and I don't want to go into that because we're a history channel. But how did that numerology and everything work, and how does it all tie in, and when did we all start speaking English? That's history as far as I'm concerned. Now, one of the things I'll ask people to think about is, if you look at English accents and regional dialects, it's pretty clear that even now there's different languages. The idea of Question, yes. Are you talking about... Oh, that's what my glasses on. Gemantria. I don't know what Gemantria is, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm talking about Gemantria. I don't know what that is. So if we're looking at... if we go back further into history, so the idea is, for example, when we're looking at ancient migrations, so you've got Syrians, Old Syracuse, coming into Syria, Surrey, Sumerians, Sumer, Somerset. We've also got Danes, well, Alan Wilson says, got big Danish influence, Derbyshire, Yorkshire, and then coming through the West Midlands, we've got the Vandals, they're coming in that way. We'll keep Welsh out of this in a minute because the Welsh language is a separate thing. This is a bit of an English discussion. And then, of course, when people talk about English, they talk about later influences. You know, the Anglo-Saxon, is it a Germanic language, Norman influences, all this kind of thing, all right? So English to me is a very fascinating language because it's a constructed language. And now if you start looking at the 17th century, when the King James I Bible was brought in, that seems to be the first attempt to standardise a language. Before then they hadn't. I wonder if people could talk to each other hardly at all in different regions. They're completely different languages. And how do they communicate? How did you come up with this lingua franca, which is that's French, but you know, this one language that everyone speaks. So that's, and I know Marshall's doing there's a lot of work on etymology and how languages change. So in some ways, maybe English is an incredibly new language, only a few hundred years old, but it seems to have incredibly ancient roots, and it's in the place names. And it ties in with what Marco's doing, although he doesn't look at it quite the same way as I do. In many ways, it's a bit like we do the dowsing. You know, you got some people like myself who try and analyse for ages, why does this work? How can it possibly work? And you got some people who say, well, it just works, okay? Marco's one of those people, he doesn't really know why or how, what's happening, but it's just something he can do. Yes, Dan?
I was wondering if you did a brief...
Can you give a brief description of what the chap in the videos is doing? Looks like the code of some kind. Yeah, sorry, yes, thank you. There's a bit of a lag there, yeah. So that's what we're talking about. So, I'll try and give a little bit of an example. Oh, goodness. Oh yeah, okay. I'll give it. This is the trouble is you do this out of context. You haven't had the whole thing. You're going to think it sounds bonkers. You need to give it a good chance. But for example, one I remember for of course a year and a half ago. All right, is they're talking about the Exodus and Moses. Let's just go back to me a second. So we're talking about that the Welsh being the people of the Bible. And when they go, the Romans being remaining, it's a play on words. So when they go to Egypt, all we're talking about there is the Corn Wall. So there's the Corn Wall around what we call Cornwall. And the crossing is the Severn. And it sounds, and I'm not very good at doing it, but you find all these words all over the place, they all match up. And then you'll see, you start to do some graphs and that. When you draw them together, some really strange things happen. Like, for example, one of the stories seems to be the story of Boudica. If you follow her life, you follow it through other clues, and even the Bible, you end up drawing a star on the map of Britain. It's some really deep stuff. Give it a go. Give it a go. All right, I'm not doing it justice, and I think I don't want to put people off from how to look themselves. And I am planning to have I had a chat with Marco a couple of weeks ago. Now he's got this channel up and he started doing this. We're going to have another chat and I'll see what you think, all right? Because I have to say, my mind, I don't know what to think anymore. So many things over the last few years of doing this. I think it's worth a look at. I really do. I really do. And what's amazing is all the stuff he's done for the last, I say, about 2 years I've known Marco now, and it's remarkably consistent. And it doesn't seem to fall apart, so there we go. Whoa, what happened there? Where's everything gone? Oh no, I just pressed the wrong button. Sorry. Oh no, you couldn't see it anyway. I'm just a disaster, but you can't see it, so it's okay. Right, it's okay. Alright, so just trying to see, can we see one of what he's got on the screen there? What's he actually doing? Yes, yeah, he's taking all the letters of Ventus Lurum, for example. There's a lot of anagrams and word swapping, and yeah. All right, don't spoil it. All right, let's go on. Right, thank you very much, Jack Phillips. He's going through the Old Testament. If you remember, he sent one fascinating thing last week talking about Esau and Jacob, and how Jacob took the birthright, and then Achub, the Welsh verb, was basically to take or to appropriate, these kind of things. So he's been going more and more through the Old Testament. And look at this. Why Nimrod founds the 4 cities, Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in Shinar. So why did Nimrod name the place Akkad in the Old Testament? In the book of Jasher, for there was a great battle at that place. Well, what's the Welsh word for battle? Cad. So Akkad, or Akkad, means the battle. And this, I'm going to be speaking again with Luke soon, hopefully. Hope he's had a good Christmas. I don't know if he's watching tonight. Hope what's the last ones with Luke. And I might have a chat with Jack as well, I think, because there seems to be a lot more to the words in the Old Testament. And with Luke, we are going to finally get round to putting things back to how it ties in with the migrations, the Old Testament, all right? So today's a bit of one of those typical end of the year, beginning of the year shows. He just jumps around doing a kind of roundup and covering different things, okay? Hope you don't mind that. Right, because here we come on to the big one. Actually, it's one of the big... I shouldn't really say it's the big one. But anyway, this is the exciting one. I hope you've seen the new videos during the week where I discuss... the book's up on the bookshelves there. It's called History Grounded, and it's the new book, which, according to the Daily Telegraph, is going to be a compulsory part of the Welsh school syllabus. Can you just... No, don't worry, we're all boxed in now. I can't get to my books, that's awkward.
What do you mean?
It's History Grounded, which is about there. About there. You know, the one with the dragon and stuff on it? Anyway, we don't have to have the book in front of us. You can see... Hang on, I've got a picture of it here. Oh.
History Grounded.
Yeah.
Is it big?
No, don't worry if you can't see it there. It should be about there, yeah. Okay, don't worry, I had it ready. I might have got it out. Don't worry. Anyway, you can see the video, okay? The video went up this week. And what it does is this kind of... it's a history book with no history in it. And the best way to describe it... No, it's the new book I got. The one I got for Christmas. The one I got for Christmas. Yeah, the one I got for Christmas. My Christmas present. Lucky me. Anyway, it's like a disgruntled old teacher who's really cheesed off with the subject, bored of the stories, bored of everything. And let's just change it all. Let's just not bother with the stories. We're bored of them. But let's just put this kind of... Make this political... I don't want to say too much because it just doesn't need talking about. But it's going to be coming in a lot. What I will tell you about the book is there's no history in it. Not what we call history. There's no stories. There's none of the great things that happened in the past. It's just not in there. All right, it's just a politically driven book. It's, you know, the introduction is like, well, it's mostly written by white men, and they like to write about white men. You have to remember this when everything you read in a book and blah blah blah. And it's like you're supposed to be writing, supposed to be 9 to 11-year-olds, for goodness sake. If you've got a different viewpoint, just write a book with a different viewpoint. They're not going to know what history books are written like 50, 60 years ago, or even 10 years ago, or even 2 years ago. get them enthused in the subject. All this wonderful stuff we got in the background. It's just so much to discuss, you know. Why not let's give it a chance? So what I started doing then was come up with this idea of, hang on, let's just get this. Here we go. Was I started jotting down quite a few subjects. This is where I need people's help, alright? Oops. Why did that jump to the bottom then? Okay, so what I'm doing is put together these little videos. You see the first one is up there as an example, which was the Red Lady of Paverland. This is a good example, right? In this book, History Grounded, it's called. There's a picture of the cave, a picture of the bones. It doesn't even say the Red Lady of Paverland or the history behind it or where it comes from or anything. So this is worrying. I'm particularly talking to parents now, although I think adults will enjoy this just as much as children. Because these stories are great and it is our history. And they've been passed on for hundreds of years, some of these stories. And it's important that we do the same. So I suggest that all parents or children get involved and watch these. Keep them short, keep them child-friendly. And one thing I'm going to do, which you'll see in a minute, is have a separate sort of sister or brother station that will be just running these. That's what it'll be. So you can go on there, you can put your child on there, or you can log on. And the categories, well, this is the, most likely categories for the videos. Ask for what? Numbers?
For the thing.
Eh?
Like the book thing, for like the channel, YouTube channel.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's right. I'm with you. Yep. Okay, so we're going to have the prehistory, was like zodiacs, ancient history, the sort of stuff Hugh Evans writes about, all that kind of thing. Stone circles, cromlechs, all this really cool stuff. About the astronomy. We're going to do more of this on this channel this week as well. And this is going to become a book. All right, so I've already written a few of them up. We cleared the table to put the show on. Anyway, you can see it in there. So there'll be a page to each one, roughly. So a few hundred words, some nice pictures, and that'll be it for each subject thing. The idea is if you're a teacher or something, or if you're just interested in a subject, it'll be enough in there to get you interested in the questions, discussion points. Like, you know, how old do you think the Red Lady of Paverland is? Watch the video, get an idea, okay? And you start to see then, like when I talk about the migrations as well, it's not a case of this is what happened. It's more a case of, well, for hundreds of years, the British people believed that these migrations happened, and this is the evidence to back it up. And here are some things, and there's the names of the places, and there's the evidence, and what do you think about it? It's that kind of angle. It's what's called Socratic teaching. You know, you ask questions, and you work off the answers. And we should all know these stories, right? Because I was lucky. My dad was really good at telling me loads and loads of stories. And I try and tell my boys loads and loads of stories, but we all need to do it because it's going to get lost. So that's one sort of bunch of categories there. And a lot more of the ancient history. Because the other thing that's completely missing from Welsh schools, and I never got taught this either until I came across that Rich Planet program, Wilson and Blackett. All this stuff about the British kings I never knew about, and the High Kings in Glamorgan. Things like Malmutian laws, and even stuff that's not... I know there's a lot of controversy about Arthur, but, you know, a lot of the stuff we talk about is well recognised. It's not controversial at all. Like King Tudric being buried at, Tintern and Mathen. Why is he not mentioned in history books when they talk about those places? Same with Cadw. How can they talk about Tintern Abbey and not talk about the person who founded it? You know, it's just like, drives you mad. So this is not like, it's different to this channel, Britain's Hidden History, where we go more into the politics and digging into it, and this will be the stories presented quite nicely and giving some different viewpoints. You know, let's compare the Celtic model with migration models, stuff like that. Then a lot about Bardism and Druidism. I never learned anything about those things when I was young. Well, up until a few years ago, let's be honest. And then things like the Triads, loads of old stuff, Will's First Church. So a lot of the stuff you'll see on this channel, these are little 7-minute videos designed to get people into the subject and get them interested. And then quite a few people have suggested this book. I'll come on to it in a second. As you can have a little scroll through, there's loads and loads of stuff. And what I'm looking for is more stories and things which you know about, which I didn't. I'm going to do one at the end of the programme. And another, well, I'll come on to what I'm going to do in a minute. Great Welsh Saints, all about Tafodwg and Gwynno and Dafydd. You see the Romans. Hang on, where's the Romans? Oh yeah, they do get a mention somewhere. But let's not make it all about the Romans, you know what I mean? Same with the Normans. They became intermingled with the Welsh, and I think the Welsh are probably more intermingled with the Romans as well. The tiny, tiny influence the Romans had in Wales. Let's put it back in perspective, shall we? So how the Normans worked, the betrayals, and Llewellyn Bren, Ivor Bach, the Welsh marches. That's not people walking around, that's the March of Lords. Llewellyn Bren, Jules, who's doing a great job working on saving Eglwys Llyn. Don't forget, please, the links are all up on last week's show. Send an email to Butte Development and the other people developing these electricity power stations on all our hills. We want to know access roads, where they're getting the hardcore from, where the cabling going, are they going to damage the dikes? Find out near you. It's going to be everywhere. I'm warning now, it's going to be everywhere. You're going to wake up one day and wonder why all these heavy trucks are going up there and why they dig in your local countryside, England, Scotland, Wales, and you're going to think, what's going on? And in America, I've heard about it, and in Canada. This is the scam of the century, okay? And they're cashing in all over the world. And you're going to wake up one day and say, my goodness, they've just ruined my local area. They've destroyed the hills, they've destroyed the history, and I've got these great big turbines which are hardly ever on, and we still get expensive electricity. So look into it, all right? Being warned. Right, how the Normans married in. This is like a potted history. All this, none of this, by the way, is in these books. And they talk about women, for example, and I got a problem with women in history. I mean, I think this whole concept is mad to me. Like, there's plenty of females follow this channel and talk to, Marcel and Patricia, the two main people putting the books together. It's to think that they only want to read about girls is just bizarre. Or they're not inspired by stories of male characters. I just don't see where it's all coming from. I don't get it. All right, so what I call the Cymro-Norman invasion of Ireland is a funny one. It's called, a strongbow. It's called the Anglo-Norman, but there's no Anglos there. They're over on the east of England, and you've got a Welsh and Norman force doing it. It's stuff like that. What's going on? It's bonkers. Right, okay, the Magna Carta drafted in Glamorgan, how King John married Joanne, and that got him the connection to the Welsh royal families, all this kind of stuff. But they're all individual stories. And a couple here I put in italics have been added, as you see in a second, by other people. Yeah, Foundation Milford Haven, Lord Nelson. So we're getting quite recent now. Now, I didn't know more about this. Welsh slate roof on the White House in the USA. Yes, Di.
This is interesting.
This is interesting. Go on.
Yeah, this one.
Go on. Where do people think Jesus was crucified? There is a Greek. Yeah. Right. Well, you need to get the book. Well, where was he crucified? I'm with you now. We got the book where Jesus is buried, which is in Britain, and you can read all about how he survived the crucifixion. Whether or not that took place in Britain or in the Middle East, that is a different story. That's onto that one, which we do discuss on this channel. So yeah, interesting question. Not what I'm going to dive into now. It's a bit big, that one. So you got all this kind of stuff anyway, all right? Loads and loads of history. But I say most of this is not hidden history. This is why it needs a different channel. It's not controversial. It's not even hidden. This is well-known history that is just not getting taught or promoted or getting into textbooks. It's bizarre, isn't it? There's loads of female characters being left out as well. Like, the film The King and I, Shall We Dance? All that stuff, yeah? Well, she was a Welsh teacher who went over there. The story's based on her. You got a story of Mary Jones in the Bible. We got Gwenllian. There's loads of... there we are. Yeah, I think everyone's got the point on that one. So we can look at going through all this. They're more modern times. World War One, the riots of 1919. How many people know about these riots in 1919? All over Britain. Armies called out, pretty much machine gunning their own people after the war. People don't even know about it. That's only just 100 years ago. So you can imagine what else is missing. So thank you for the other stories you need to go in. Have a scroll through this list. I'm trying to think how I can make this available as a download somehow. I'll work on that. Tiger Bay, first radio transmission, Italian cafes. There is multiculturalism in Britain. Oh no, I just deleted one by hitting the 2 to change the camera, haven't I? Muppet. All right, don't worry. No, I can.
We could see it.
No, I've just wiped out a line of text here.
Oh.
Oh no, it could be so important. Speed records on Pendine Sands, all the sport that's going on. You know, Tani Gray Thompson perhaps should be in there, another great female athlete from around here. Alright, so then the future, strikes in the 1980s, all this kind of stuff, okay? So it'll take a while, take a year or two, I think, to get through all these. Well, maybe not. You do 2 or 3 weeks, maybe. They're quite easy to write. I've already written about 5 or 6 in the first few days. So that's the project there, okay? Now I just want to... Right, okay, hang on a second. Oh, so much to do tonight. I feel to read, I don't know why. Alright, so what I'm looking for is what we call the new channel. And I've been racking my brains for a week and asking the boys, nothing I'm really very happy with. Because you want to try and make it interesting, anything with history on it. Is it interesting or not interesting? I don't know. I want to appeal to young people. I really want to get the message out to parents. If you want your children to know any history, they're not going to find it at school, unfortunately. Not this kind of history. The stuff we were brought up with or not. And the other question I want to ask as well, the topics. So I've just gone through that. And then, yeah, I mean, is this the same in England and Scotland? I mean, I'm imagining it is. I'm more aware in Wales because that's where my children go to school and that's where I'm following the news and that's where I have to know about this particular book. Has anyone been looking? And I think Wales is a bit extreme, although so is Scotland. So, what I would love to see on the channel, on the comments, is a broad stock of knowledge. Very good. Do we have any large amount of conflict going on with all this? Thank you, Ross. Happy New Year. Oh, that's good to see you. Hello. Oh, Marco. Yeah, Marco. Marco's in the group. There we are. Good to see you, Marco. Yeah, mate, your stuff is great. And, yeah, I think people are ready for it. When we talked about a year and a half ago, we both agreed that people weren't ready for that. I think people are more ready now. I think people have had their eyes opened in the last year or so. No, I have. I'm in a different frame of mind. I'm more open to these things. So, please, I want people to tell me, what I'd really like to do, ideally, is if there's anyone out there at all who really knows about what's happening with history being taught in England and or Scotland. You haven't got to know both or just one part of it. Come and do a Zoom chat with me. We can talk about it because I need to know more about it. So if we start spreading this out and becoming, it seems crazy. I can't believe there's no history books about England. Not the stuff we cover. I mean, I call it Britain, I think, and I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, these are also things we need to think about, and what's happening in Scotland with the curriculum and that. There we go. So most people say I like to channel on a Sunday. It's not. He's a bit more serious tonight. Sorry about that. So there we go. There's the person who sent him in. Yanto Banter. There's his comments. Excellent comments. There's a load of stuff here. What's this Dr. Strangelove connection with York? I have no idea what that is. If anyone knows. And the guy who did the parceling of data that led to the invention of the internet, apparently from Wales. I don't know what that is. This guy I have found out. We're going to have a little bit of fun at the end of the show with him, alright? It's brilliant. So this kind of thing. So if you can leave comments under the video, that's the best, because the chat, it's difficult for me to scroll all through it again. So if you put them on the comment, if there's a particular story you think's worth mentioning, or should be in there, okay? Whoop, if I could scroll through these, I can't, fortunately, because it's just a screen save I've done. So thank you very much, Yanto Banter, or is it Ian? It could be Ian. I assumed it was Yanto, it's a Welsh thing. Could be Ian to Banter. Or Yanto. Okay, so that's going to be a new channel. Well, it's already started, really. I need a name for the channel. We'll get that set up this week. And I'll start putting all those videos together there so we can carry on with our videos and our sort of more discussion we have here, okay? Right. Here we go. The strange story. Does anyone else know about this? I'd never heard of this. The strange story is a nice fun one to finish up on. The strange story of Huzovka, the Welsh city in the middle of Ukraine. Now, I have to admit, I've never heard of this before, and I have not done in-depth research on this, okay? What I've done is gone to good old Wikipedia, so I don't know. I don't know. I mean, how much do you trust Wikipedia, really, isn't it? Hang on a second. I thought I had it ready. Huzovska. There we go. Okay. Right. Does everyone know about this? Is it just me? Just me doesn't know about this one. So here we go. It's one of the early mining settlements. I'm trying to get the boys in as well. We'll do some more songs. We just realised we've gone almost to the end. We haven't done enough songs yet. We can get Arnie's. We're going to do some more... Oh, Arnie's probably listening. You're listening, aren't you, Arnie? Or Mummy will be listening and Mummy will tell him.
Can I do the piano as well?
Oh, you can do the piano? Yeah. Okay. All right, don't worry. Yeah, we'll have Leon do a bit of piano. You can read all about this, okay? Where else did I see it then? Because I read about... you can read on Wikipedia anyway. Okay, you can read about it there. But I did find some newspaper stories and articles about it. So I'm going to have to try and do is wing it off the top of my head a bit now. I'll probably get this wrong. Whoop, try again. So what we had situation... In the middle of the 19th century, the chap, Hughes, son of Hughes, he was working in a steel worker. He was very good, his hands, good mechanical, very, very clever. And he started putting in various patents for different things. And what he managed to do, and I will find the newspaper articles. Because it must be here. I was reading them only a while ago. Sorry. Right, you're going to have to rely on me to remember it. Sorry. Oh, hang on. No, it was in the... No. Oh, there's the history grounded thing. Sorry. God, I feel a bit worn out tonight. Sorry, Mark. There's the... Just so you can see about... There's the history grounded book I was referring to, okay? Ellen Jones. In this book, Ellen Jones shows us that evidence of the past is to be seen everywhere in Wales today. Great, I agree. Yeah. Takes on a visual journey through 5,000 years of history. In every part of Wales. I dispute that. A must read of Wales. This is what's scary. For every school, learner and teacher. And apparently it's going to be compulsory. There's her CV. So it says since 1966 she's been working in an advisory role. 50 odd years ago. I mean, how old was she when she had that advisory role? All about how history's taught, the qualifications. I mean, you can leave your comments how good a job you think has been done during that period for Welsh people learning their history. In 2013, she chaired the task force responsible for preparing a report to the Education Minister on the Welsh curriculum, history and the story of Wales. Who were the first people to live in Wales? Why is Glyndŵr so important? What part did Wales play in the slave trade? How has the sea influenced our history? I read the whole book. I can't remember anything about the sea. Quite a bit about the slave trade. Come to look for some of the answers. It's a bizarre way to sell a history book, I think. And there's the cover, Black Lives Matter. There's another rainbow flag. All sorts going on here. Very strange book. Very strange for school children. I'm quite concerned about it, I have to say, if I'm doing this. I think we need to put an alternative curriculum. Which reminds me, actually, because I almost forgot. I had a couple of suggestions. What we should do is crowdfund so we can print books to give away. That's a brilliant idea. We'll do them at cost. I will nail the printer down. We'll get quite a decent sized print run done. I'm going to give them to schools for free. Now, we can't force them to read the books. You can take a horse to water, you can't make it drink, but is it worth a trying? What do you think? This would be taking things to a different level. This isn't just us producing books about the subjects we're interested in and slowly spreading the word. And it wouldn't be like a Wilson and Blackett book. It would be pretty mainstream, okay? Pretty mainstream, but, thought-provoking, hopefully. Because one of the things that I've talked a lot with Alan Wilson about education, school, what it's about. And you've probably seen some videos, he's an incredibly wise person. And what Alan always says is what school's about is... Oops, sorry, should be looking at me, not that. What school should be about is learning how to learn. That's what it's about. Learning how to learn, how to think, how to ask questions, how to find out information, how to look, how to be a questioning mind. And what the most difficult thing, which I think you have to learn young, and unfortunately I think we learn exactly the opposite young, is how to read something or look at something properly. I know it sounds mad. Alan Wilson does it. Luke does it really well when we do our legal looking at the Old Testament and what the words mean in legal terms, what the words really mean. He's very good at it. Marco's very good at it. Some people are very good at doing this. It's very rare, though. When we read something, whether it be the Bible or a history book or a newspaper or the news, whatever it is, we read it. We don't really read it. We kind of drift through it. We sort of roughly know what it means and what they're talking about, and we'll pick out a few details. So I can read books really, really quickly. Really quickly. I started reading so many books, and I remember them really quickly. I have great memory, fast reader, okay? But you could spend half an hour on one sentence, and you'll find something different. I guarantee it. If you read a sentence like Luke does or Alan does, and word by word by word by word by word, I will guarantee you, if you just concentrate on one sentence, as long as you've got some information, you'll have a few different thoughts about it. And this is what you need to learn, is how to come in with wipe your mind and look at a piece of evidence and say, what does that say? And read what it says. Not what you think it says, not what it's supposed to say, not what someone else has told you to say, not what years of thinking you're expecting it to say. Really coming cold somehow. That's hard. And that's what I think schools should really be teaching. It's the opposite in a way, isn't it? You're not taught to... what we need to do, what I'm hoping to do with this project and these books and everything, is to encourage children and people to ask the right questions and think, rather than being told the answer and not to think, which just seems to be where we're heading. So I think the people in this group know what I'm on about, and I think it'd be really helpful. And I'll need help doing it. But I mean, it's one of those things, I think we'll take that one slowly. These have got to come out quickly. Alan's going to be 90 soon. I want to organise a party for him if we ever work out what the heck's happening in the country regards getting people together. So that's only a few months away to Alan's 90th. It's going to be a chance to meet the great man, hopefully, up in Newcastle. So I try and nail that down as soon as possible. And this has to be done quickly. I want him to see it. I want him to see it. I want him to see things happening. I want him to see the progress. And it's just a matter of us doing the work to get this out. All right? And I need help. The more stuff off my desk, the more I can get the new stuff out and all that kind of thing, which I'm pleading for help. And people have been brilliant. And now I've got a bit more room, as you see. Well, you can almost see. I'm not working out the cupboard anymore. I've got a bit more room, a bit more organised. Get the projects organised, got my schedules worked out. It's like running a proper company. This project, that project, this project. This is going to be a lot better, right? This is where we go forwards, okay? So I didn't expect us to grow like it has the last 2 years, to be honest. I mean, when it started, it was just, I love these books, you should try and read them, And then somehow we got into the reprinting, the publishing, and I don't know, everything's gone crazy. And it's become a full-time thing. Whether I want it to be or not. I'm too obsessed to go on with anything else anyway. And I think that the history thing will dovetail nicely. So like I said, we do need some ideas though. I can see I can see with the background. You can see Arnie's, so I'll wake up a bit now. Arnie's Ferrari things on. Yeah, so I just want to, hang on, I was going to talk about this place, one like Husovska. Right, just want to say though, just to remind everyone, hang on a sec. I want suggestions for a name for the channel. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to throw you off the path, right? Because I can't get anywhere. Have we got any more ideas there? I thought you said Alan's going to be knighted soon. Well, I'll knight him. Go on, we'll knight him. We'll call him Sir Alan. Hey, here's a ceremony. Topics. So again, slot in. Please, 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 please. I will have a look. I'll find the newspapers, wherever you do. Try and dig into... I don't really have the time to do that. I'd like people to do it. Have a look on the England government website. It probably might be something different, or maybe regional. England's so big, it can be regional. Scotland, you'll definitely go into the government sites. There will be documents there. I will guarantee you there'll be documents there telling you what the education is going to look like in Scotland. There is in Wales, and there's books, and you'll see the new textbooks. And but that's the one side. But the other side is, what should we do? I'm not making this just a Welsh thing, all right? Stories, but anywhere in the world. And the categories, that's what I was talking about, so I'm jumping around tonight. Was when you saw me scrolling down. Come on, Ross. They're the broad. You get the idea anyway. So broad categories would be like modern Welsh culture, like playlists, if you like, within the YouTube channel. Modern times, religious revival, industrial revolution. So be those kind of categories. That's what I mean, all right? Right, okay, now the So the Husovska. So what happens, he goes over to I do want to find the name. He goes over to, there's an appeal. They need someone to help set up the iron industry in Russia, in Ukraine. So he has to, about 100 of them goes over, but he's the clever guy. He's got all the patents. He's working in developing metal sheeting for ships. He's an armouring expert. So he's the brains of the outfit. He goes over there and he sets up the whole city, which became named after him, Huzovska. And I wanted to show the newspaper article because what upset me about it, what was disappointing, it's just like the same thing again, okay? I've got to find this article. I want to show it to you. Come on. Oh, sorry, I don't know what's happened. I had it already. Hang on. Huzovska, Ukraine. Yes. Found it. Brilliant. Right, so there's an article from Telegraph about 4 years ago. There it is. You can see some pictures of the city. Funky looking city. Apparently it's quite depressed and quite rough now because, like everywhere else, heavy industries have suffered. So it gives you the story there. It's pretty good. There it is in Ukraine. Right where you don't want to be going for your holidays right now. This is if you talk about world history, this is the build up here. This is you got your Russia and you got what we want to call it, NATO, EU, whatever. This is the border, and Russia are kind of, this bit is more Russian than European, but there you go. Officially there's the border. And here it is. Okay. The map doesn't zoom out very well, unfortunately. And this is quite funny because you go from Merthyr, and there's a picture of Merthyr, look. A weird picture of Merthyr. Why didn't they show the ironworks or something to do with what he actually did? Right, okay, so John Hughes, son of an ironworks engineer, here we go. It's his skill of metal would see him build a city. Right, okay. So you got all this stuff there. Hopefully see how much I got right now. So there we are. So he made all this money off his patents, his new techniques. So by 1842, he bought a shipyard. By 1850, he owned a foundry. This guy did, wow. Then he's part of the Millwall Ironworks Company. And he went off to Russia. Now, okay, so he did this amazing thing, all right? Have you ever heard of it? I have to say I hadn't. It's got a faint bell. I think I must have heard about it years ago or something. Anyway, so 100 Welsh miners and metal workers. And I show you this now to show you up against, okay? And they set this up. It's quite an exciting story, you know? It'd be good fun, isn't it? A real positive one. And then within 2 years, the team set up 8 blast furnaces. Collieries, mines, brickworks, rail lines followed. So did churches, hospitals, school, a fire brigade. So he died, right? He died in 1889. Okay, 1889. Right? That's how history's presented in our country, right? He died in 1889. And the site's become a city. In true Russian fashion, it bore the name of its creator. I love these pictures. It's just so Soviet. Awesome. It's actually older than that, isn't it? 1889 he died, all right? So he did this thing, right? Went off exhibition about 4 years ago. Rather sad I missed it. This circle will be squared. A display of photos. Then there's still some Welsh families over there, descendants, that kind of thing. The present-day residents of Donetsk, which is the other name for the city. Then artillery fire through the wars. The Symphony of Donbass, a revealing film crafted by the celebrated Soviet documentary maker, 1930, which thrust a camera into the sweat, rust and grime of daily life in Donetsk in an epoch when Stalin had ambitious plans to the surrounding Donbass region of broad mineral resources. So here we are, 1930. Don't forget. When did he die? 1889, all right? 1889. A century before. Right. Now, let's see how we deal with this now. Listen to this. Knowledge of this period in Ukraine and Wales remains very limited, despite its significance, especially pertinent issues in modern times. Listen to this now. But the exhibition will not just be a respectful observant of a sepia yesterday. It'll have a critical eye too. Welsh entrepreneurship contributed to building Donetsk, but there's also Welsh exploitation of a local workforce that gave rise to popular resentment and political radicalism that fed into the Russian Revolution of 1917. The guy's dead in 1889. Because he set up an ironworks, he's somehow exploiting Russians 30 years later. I mean, the thing was all set up by the 1870s. I don't know, it's just so negative. Why do you have to have no pride in anything anymore? Why can't it just be this great story, you know? Why does it have to be, well, it's going to be in the new book, all right? We're going to be positive. We're going to be positive, okay? So look at this. Anyway, I'll just a little bit more about it. Husovska may have been a Welsh endeavour at its root, but its fabric was soon blown apart by the chill winds of change which gusted across the Russia of the earlier 20th century. By 1913, all right, so 24 years after he died, and about almost 40 years after he set this up, the town was producing 73% of the country's iron ore. It's amazing. But the bursting of the seams that was the Russian Revolution of 1917 changed everything. Hughes had been gone for almost 20 years. It was a bit more than that, mate. Cause I suppose so, all right. Yeah, no, it is. It's like 30 years. But anyway, he died suddenly on a business trip. But his brothers had to return home, so they weren't there either. And the Bolsheviks took over. And they all came back. And they talk about then what happened under the revolution and Stalinism and all this. Like somehow it's the guy who had the brains to set it up's fault. And interestingly, there's a Manic Street Preachers song, Dreaming a City Husovska. So there we are. And get that tune and listen to it with great interest. All right, so there we go. It's a bit of a funny show tonight, wasn't it? I thought the other things would take longer, so there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. I really want to chat to you. I can't see the comments. Leon, do you want to get the music ready? Is Arnie playing as well?
I don't know.
So please, I really want to know ideas for the new book. Topics for the new history. I really want some names, please. Let's have a little chat through the comments. Let's have a little look. Right, excuse me. Right. Which Neil Young's... Oh, not to Neil Young. I like a bit of Neil Young. Oh. Heart of Gold. I used to play on the guitar. Oh. Alright, no comments. Right. I was bored months ago. We wait for daycare. I was fighting like some man's son. Oh, right. It's a lot of politics tonight, isn't it? Coffee shops would meet at and discuss stuff like politics. Yeah, this is another thing, isn't it? Bars are closing. Coffee shops. Right. Yeah, I think people are waking up. They are about history anyway. All right, I remember in English class, Scottish school, being told that trustworthy sites for essays were news sites such as the BBC. We were told what to think and look at, not how to think. It's the same, I'm afraid. It's gone more and more like that. Okay, you ready to go?
Yeah.
Are you playing this out, are you? I thought we could have another January song. Do you know a January song? Oh, you're sorted. All right, we'll have Leon play us out. Well, thank you very much, everybody.
I have a couple of songs.
Oh, you got a couple of songs. Oh, look at him.
One of them's really short, that's fine.
Right, Leon's going to give us some music while I talk us out. And it's going to be going back to the really ancient stuff next week. I want to make sure you can hear this week. We got this for Christmas. Second-hand shop. I'll do a little game now. A little game on the comments. You can get the nearest to how much the keyboard cost, alright? You can have a guess. It was a second-hand charity shop, just to give you a clue. before you start putting hundreds of pounds in this. Right, so okay, so next week we'll do a lot more of the ancient stuff. I'll start, hopefully have a chat with Hugh Evans about the great Zodiac up in Gwynedd. Thank you again to all the people who are helping getting this out. It's really important. And we'll get the new books out and the new channel, and it's going to be a really exciting 2022. I am extremely positive. I think this is going to be the real breakout year where we really make it happen, and we make Alan very happy by his 90th birthday, okay? Mystic Mega Media. Yeah, we're going to be busy. A massive story of a tiny nation. Oh, cool, Andrew, I like that. Yeah, we need a snappy title for the... I wonder what we could do. What we do? I can't think of a good name. Come on, someone throw some ideas in there. Keep going, Arnie. Alright, Husovska, the Mr. Jones film, is currently on Prime Video. Oh, thank you. So there's a film about it. That'll be good to see. It's all... Which? Sherry Lives. Hey. Thank you, Thank you, Leon. Sorry. The hidden leaders are rising slowly. Thank you, Suzanne Price. All this oppression, what's going on? I know it's really hard not to talk about some sort of politics, isn't it? I'm surrounded by it. Right, okay. We have one more tune in the arm. I was going to sing something tonight. There we are. Everyone's relieved. Alright, okay. I'm falling behind on the comments. If you chatted so much, you missed most of the great content. Well, thanks a lot, Suzanne. That's alright, you can always go back again. And once again, I'm just amazed everyone who turns up every week. It's fantastic. I always say, we want everybody to do a little is the idea. You know, it's turning up, watching the show, that's great, you know. Maybe click a like, share the URL, maybe send it to someone you think might be interested. Let's get more people in, that's always good. And then we're going to have the books, the pre-order we got this week, hopefully. And we're going to come up with some little rewards and things as well. So if you just want to help the thing along with a gift or get your name in the book, that kind of stuff. Alright, so if you're all good, so you play us out, Leon. Oh, you can't see him. I've got to be cameraman now suddenly. I don't know if that's going to hit him or not. I don't know. Right, one more tune.
Okay.
He's got no music there, look. Yeah, go on, have a bit of that Green Day thing. So he's got the green background. You can see in the background there, my idea was to have a green screen. But as you know, it didn't work very well. What are you going to sing? My great-grandmother was from... Oh. Oh, yeah. It's alright, it's alright. That's okay. Everyone's loving it, Leon. Well done, mate. Well done, well done. Yep. Excellent. Hey, alright, just join in and watch it from the beginning later. Okay, you want more? Yeah. No staff, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Hey, I got broken dreams. There you go. Very old. The Boulevard of Broken Noses. Oh, fantastic. Well done, Leon. There we go. You're steering the show again. Look, everyone thinks you're wonderful. Thank you. So thank you, everyone. And look out this week. I will cover that Roman road I want to talk about. I will be during the week. And open to suggestions and questions. They want to throw a question. You want more? Do you want to throw a question in? As a question or a request then? Well, that's it for like now. You go for hours like this. There you go. Well done, Leon. That's a high voice in 2 years. Yeah, thanks, Gary. No, you'd be surprised, man. Good kick in the what's it, so you can be surprised how high a note you can get. I put you off now, have I? There we are, Lucy. These are our next generation, okay? We got to teach them. We got to let them know, alright? Because I always say, you know, young people are young. They're not stupid. And they might not know as much stuff because they haven't as long to learn it. That's all, isn't it? We know it's now a responsibility. It's our responsibility to make sure that our past is not forgotten. See, I've got no past. If you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going. All that kind of cliches. All right, until the next time. Thank you very much indeed. And I'm just absolutely overwhelmed that people turn up every week and we have these great times. And it's going to be a wonderful year. This year is really going to smash it. We're going to go big. So, thank you very much. You going to say goodnight?
Okay.
Good night from him and good night from me. Bye-bye. We'll start. Until next time, Heather.
You didn't do it, Daddy.
Hmm?
You used your hand into the heaven symbol. You said that.
Well, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Into the heaven symbol, you should use it.
No, hang on a second.
You just did.
I can't just plot my hand on it, so I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. Loved it, Leon. Happy New Year. Thank you very much, Zoe Spencer. Thank you. Yeah, we still got to record that track. We still got to do our protest song about the thing. Please send an email in for that. So this is the idea. This is a Heduk now. See, which way up do you do it? Because that's like a Heduk, really. So, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
You usually do this. You do Heduk like that.
Do I?
Yeah.
I didn't realise I was doing it. You sure? This is chaos. It's falling apart. This is a professional show. This is done. You can't just ramble on like this. You can't argue with me in front of everybody. You're a well-behaved young boy. You know, you argue with your dad in front of all these people. So what do I have to do? You show me then. Go on. I thought it was my channel.
Look.
This is the producer. So apparently, go on, tell me.
This is what you usually do. You usually do that.
Do I?
Yeah. Or you do this or something like that with 3 fingers.
I think you dreamt that, Leo. He's a great dreamer, by the way. We'll be doing dreams soon. And I put up more of the videos in Lawrence the Druid. And me and Lawrence are going up some hills dreaming as soon as it gets a little bit warmer. Because I'm not as tough as him. So I'm going to do. I do the head hook like that.
Well, usually you do it.
This is my... How can I not know what I do on my channel?
Usually you do like this or something like that. That's what you usually do. You have to.
I think the last few weeks you've been doing it. All right. So all the production guys, I got to do a head hook now. So I got to do like that.
That's like, no, I don't
That's
know.
a head hook, isn't it?
Do how you do it? I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how I do it, 'cause I don't think I've ever done it.
So you do it like this or something.
Apparently, I do a head hook at the end of the show, which would be really cool, by the way, because I know that Martin's got his flat thumbs, he does that, so we can have a head hook. But that's the wrong...
You do it like that. Yeah, you do that.
That?
Yeah.
It's upside down head hook, but you can't do that, can you? It looks dopey. And obviously, be careful if you remove any fingers from this one.
Yeah.
It's got to be all 3 fingers. All right, we'll try again. All right, then. No star head hook. Watch it this time, on the lag. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Phew, thank goodness. All right, we can turn it off. See you all soon. Bye.
Some people haven't quite